So guys, everyone, I'm audible?
Yes, Samir, you are able.
Okay, so let's start with the Azure Data Engineering. Azure Data Engineering. So when we talk about the Azure Data Engineering, where guys, Azure is the name used by the Microsoft to market their products. Okay, cloud-based products. Okay, and whereas data is nothing but the information, and the engineering is nothing but application of various techniques on the data by the Microsoft. So that is nothing but the Azure Data Engineering. So the Azure Data Engineering is a bunch of services together, okay, which are used to perform the following operations or jobs, you can say. The first one is called as a data migration job. And then we have, what is that? The data migration. Okay. Then we have what
Data
is that?
summarization, data visualization.
Yes, data integration. I'm just brushing up once and then we'll move further, guys. It's okay. So data migration, data integration, and data summarization. And the next one is data visualization. These are all the techniques we have it, or okay, in the Azure Data Engineering, for which we have the following services provided into the Azure Data Engineering. What is that? The first one we can say it here as the ADF, guys. The first one is the ADF, that is the Azure Data Factory, and the second one we have it as the Azure Databricks, and then we have the third one as a Synapse. Okay. Then we have even the next one where we have the machine learning. Okay. Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, Synapse, machine learning, and artificial intelligence, etc. Where are various services are provided into this. Whereas, guys, whereas all these services are provided into the Azure Data Engineering. But the story starts from here. What's that? Data, guys. What is that? Data. Data means what? Information. Data or information, I can say. So the data or information, we get it from the where? The data or the information, we get it from the source of data, guys. We get it from where? From the source of data. The source of data. Data or information, we get it from the source of data. So what is my source of data? A place from where we can expect the data is called as a source of data. So what are the sources of data we can have? Yes, guys. What are the sources of data we can have? We can have the following sources. What is that? The social networking sites. Social networking sites where we get the data. Then we have what's that? Banking applications. Then we have the data from the IoT sensors, Internet of Things. And then we can get the data that is a human generated data. Human generated data. And the next one is machine generated data, etc. These are all the, guys, these are all the sources of, okay, these are all the sources from where we can expect the data, where these sources generate the data, where this data is called as, what is it, guys? Big data. It is called as what? Big data. Generates a massive amount of data, where the massive amount of data can also be called it as what? Big data. The massive amount of data can also be called it as what? Big data, guys. Big data. So what do you mean by big data? Big data is nothing but the massive amount of data is called as the big data. Massive amount of data is called as the big data. So what is that? Big data, we have it. The first one. The following are the different categories or types of big data we can have. What is that? The first one is called as a structured data. And the second one, we can say, what is that, guys? A semi-structured data. And the third one, we can say it here as the unstructured data. These are the three categories or three types of data we have it. So yesterday already we have discussed what is a structured data. Okay, guys. So what is a structured data? The structured data is that where the data is recorded in the proper form of a table, whereas the form of a table is nothing but it is in the form of rows and columns. It is in the form of what? Rows and columns. The data which is recorded in the form of a rows and columns, that is in the tabular format, is called as a structured data, where, guys, where out of the total data, okay, we receive it only, what is it, 20% of the data in the form called what? Structured, and as well as the semi-structured. So what is a semi-structured? Semi-structured is a data where the data is recorded in the form of a JSON files, and then the data is recorded in the XML files. Okay, guys. So yesterday we have already discussed what is the JSON, what is XML. Am I right? So whereas, can you see here? These are all the semi-structured data where we can have it. What is that? These are all the semi-structured data we can have it, guys. That's it. Okay. So we can have the data into the following form. So only 20% of the data you will receive it into these two forms. What is that? Semi-structured and the structured. And what do you mean unstructured? Unstructured is data is nothing but this data you'll get it into the 80% of the data you will get it in this form. 80% of the data you will get it in what? This form, basically. That is called as what? Yes, guys, 80% of the data you will get it in what? Unstructured format. So basically, unstructured means what? There will be no structure here at all. Okay. Just like the photos in your mobile phone. Then you have videos in your mobile phone. Then you have, what is that? Chat history. Photos, videos, chat history. Okay. Photos, videos, chat history. Then you have, what is that? Okay. Photos, videos, okay, chat history, voice notes. All these are called as what? The forms of the unstructured data. Whereas these are the three categories of data we can have it here. What is that? Structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data, guys. Okay. Generally, we receive the big data can be classified into three categories. What is that? The first one is called as a structured, and the second one is called as a semi-structured, and the next one is called as the unstructured data, guys. Okay. These are the three categories of data we can have it. Whereas now to store this data, where do we store it? Generally, to store this data in Azure, because this you will get it from the external source now. So whenever you wanted to use this data into the Azure, the Azure requires some storages to store the data. So for that, the following are the storages provided in Azure. So we can say storage, okay, Azure storages. We can say, what is that? Azure storages. And these storages are common for all, guys. What is that? You can use it for with the ADF. You can use it for the ADB. You can use it for the Synapse. You can use it for the machine learning. And you can use it for the artificial intelligence, or whatever the thing you have wanted, you can use it here. Okay, what is that? Azure storages. The following are the storages. So totally in Azure, we can say we have 90 plus storages, guys. How many storages? 90 plus storages are available into the Azure for storing the data. So storing the data. What is that? Or what are those? Let us try to see this first. So the first type of storage is called as the Azure Blob storage. What is that? Azure Blob storage. So guys, the Azure Blob storage is nothing but the binary large object. Blob stands for what, guys? Everyone, binary large object. Okay, so whereas the Azure binary large object, everyone, the Azure binary large object, everyone, the Azure binary large object is nothing but basically whenever you have the Azure binary large object, this is called as a limited storage. This is called as what? Limited storage, guys. That means limited storage means what? The data will be stored in a limit. That means a limited storage will be there. It's not an unlimited storage. But what is the limitation? We can store it. You can store up to 40 GB of the data into this. Into each storage called Azure Blob Storage, you can store up to 40 GB of the data, guys. Where? What type of data you can store it? You can store all type of data. That means you can store, what is it, guys? Structured data, you can store it here. Everyone, you can store, what is that? Structured data. And then you can also store, what is it, guys? Semi-structured data. And the next one, you can store it as what? Unstructured data as well. That means you can store the following type of data. What is it? Structured, semi-structured, and the unstructured. These are the three categories of data we can store it into the Azure Blob Storage, which is the basic storage in Azure, where basic storage in Azure Cloud. Okay, and it has a limited storage. It has a limited storage of 40 GB. That is 40,000 MIB. You can say. Okay, so we can store the data up to this. That's the only thing we have it in the Azure Blob Storage. Whereas later they have introduced the Azure Data Lake Gen 2. So whereas the Azure Data Lake Gen 2 has been released later, and this is released with an unlimited storage. What is that? Unlimited storage. Unlimited storage. Okay, we can store up to whatever the extent we want. This is called as an unlimited storage, guys. The Azure Data Lake storage is an Gen 2. Azure Data Lake storage Gen 2 is an unlimited storage where we can store again the following type of data. We can store either the structured data or the semi-structured data or the unstructured data. Any kind of a data. Okay, we can store it into the Azure Data Lake Gen 2. We can store any kind of data. What is that? Structured, semi-structured, or unstructured. Whereas prior to this, we had one more storage. But right now, in 2024, it is going to retire. But I'm just giving you not as a serial number, just as a, point of information I'm just giving you. That is called as what? Azure Data Lake Gen 1 was there, guys. But this is going to retire in 2024. This is going to retire in 2024, guys. This is going to retire in which one? 2024. This is going to retire anyways. Okay. So hence, as it is going to retire in 2024, guys, this is going to retire in 2024. Hence, what is that we have it? So as it is going to retire in 2024, everyone, as it's going to retire in 2024, so Azure is not providing you the storages or not providing the facility to create it. So Gen 1 is there, but still we can't use it now. Already usage is there, then you are able to use it. But whereas it is recommending, Microsoft is recommending to switch it over the whole data, whatever you have it in the storages called Azure Data Lake Gen 1, from Gen 1 to Gen 2 storage, because the Gen 1 is going to retire it completely in 2024, guys. That's it. Okay. So this is the storage. The next one, guys, you have the next storage. That is the third storage. I can say what is it? Azure SQL database. That means what? This is a cloud database, guys. Azure SQL database means what? SQL is used in the cloud environment. So hence it is called as what? Azure SQL database, where this can store, guys, everyone, this can store again what? Only one type of storage it can have it. What is that? Only the structured data. When you talk about the SQL or the Azure, the data will be recorded in the form of only rows and columns. that is in the form of a tables, tabular format. So hence we can say what is that? Azure SQL database. Azure SQL database, that is called as what? Structured data. That is called as what? Structured data, guys. Azure SQL database, where the data is recorded in the form of what? Structured data. Structure means what, guys? The proper structured data. The proper structured data, rows and columns data can be recorded into the Azure SQL database, where the other type of format is not supported here. The next one we have it as, guys, what? Azure Cosmos DB. Cosmos DB. So now the Cosmos DB means what, guys? This is called as NoSQL database. NoSQL database. It is called as what? NoSQL database. This is called as what? Cosmos DB. Guys, Cosmos DB stands for what? NoSQL database. Okay. Where if you say NoSQL means what, guys? Again, it can store, what is that? It can store two type of data. NoSQL means what? No tabular structure is required. So here what is it? Semi-structured and structured data will be recorded. Semi-structured and structured data can be recorded in the Azure Cosmos DB, guys. In the Azure Cosmos DB, structured and the semi-structured, both. That means you can store the data in the form of a tables, as well as, and if you have the data in the JSON file or XML file, in that form also you can store the data into the Azure Cosmos database. What is it? Azure Cosmos database. Okay, Cosmos DB, which is called as what? NoSQL database. Then apart from this, guys, the fifth one I can say Azure, guys, everyone, Azure, okay, Cosmos DB, and then you have what's that? Azure Synapse. Azure Synapse Analytics. Where if you talk about the Azure Synapse Analytics, the Azure Synapse Analytics is the data warehouse in Azure, guys. This is the data warehouse of Azure. This is the data warehouse of Azure. As it is the data warehouse means what? Obviously, it can store only the structured data, guys. It can store only what is at the structured data, where semi-structured and unstructured is not supported. Okay. And what do you mean by a data warehouse? Data warehouse is a place where the data is used, where the data of a data warehouse is used for decision-making purpose. For what purpose? Decision-making purpose. Decision-making purpose. Okay. So we can say the decision-making data will be recorded into the Azure Synapse. And what is the data warehouse of Azure? Azure data warehouse is the Azure Synapse Analytics. In the same way, what is the data warehouse of Amazon, guys? What is the data warehouse in Amazon? That is called as a Redshift. And what is the data warehouse of Google Cloud Platform, that is GCP? It is called as a BigQuery. So basically, these are all the data warehouses we have it. Then apart from this, guys, you can see here the next one we have it as what? Azure Elastic Pool. Tell me. So the Azure Elastic Pool is nothing but this is the collection of multiple databases can be recorded into an Elastic Pool. And once the data is recorded into the Elastic Pool, again, it can be only the, yes, guys, structured data we can have it. It can be only the structured data. No, it can be only the structured data. So likewise, guys, likewise, how many storages are available? Totally, we have 90 plus storages in Azure. Now, guys, so these are some of the storages which I have explained you. Okay. And now, guys, I will show you how the rest of the 90 storages are available and how it happens. So here for that, first of all, we have to start with the first practical here, that is called as logging, getting login into the Azure system. How to log in? So for that, use azure.com, use a web page called what? Azure.com. And then I'm just opening the page here, everyone. So just type it here, azure.com.
I mean, I have a question. Is it elastic to follow the separate database like a in AWS Redshift
No,
or
no.
like a only for RDBMS?
Yeah, it's a cloud for RDBMS only.
Okay. Means databases like Oracle, SQL Server.
Yes, yes, yes. All various type of databases.
Okay.
So now, can you see this is the portal.azure.com, and here can you see on the top free. We can say start free. And now click on the start free. As I'm already signed up here, it's giving me my the mail ID, everything, and password is everything is saved. I've saved it, so hence it's giving me. Else it will ask you the username, password, everything. I'm just selecting the sign in as of now. If I'm signing, can you see here? Looks like already you have an existing account. So okay, sign up for pay as you go model or using the existing account. So I'll use it. Sign up for pay as you go model. Now can you see here? These are some licensing agreements. You have to select it, privacy agreements. Just click on this and click on the next. Now here you have to provide the credit card or debit card information, guys. So mine is already saved here. Okay, the credit card and debit card information you have to give it. And once you give the credit or debit card information, why?
Samir, we are
Because
not able to see the screen. We are seeing just the notepad alone. Are you
array,
sharing something?
yes, yes, yes. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Here you have what's that? Everyone, here you have what's that? Can you see? This is the page. So click on the sign in.
Yes.
And now click on the start free.
Samir, I have one question, if you don't mind. It's
Please, please.
related to Azure data engineering.
Okay.
Uh, First question that as you telling that Microsoft Azure, there is one certification, is there? AG 400 where for the Azure data engineering beta version certification is related to our data engineering,
Yeah, obviously data engineering only.
but they saying that beta version. What is the beta version? Is it means that is not developed as of now in the Azure?
Beta version is actually basically, it's being developed now.
Oh, it is expiring on January 26th, you say.
Which one?
Azure data engineering beta version certification.
Yeah. So instead of that, you can go with the DP 503, something like that.
Can you spell it?
DP, DP,
DB,
DP, DP,
DB,
DB, no,
DB,
DP 503.
DB 503, DP 503.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
And the second one is it's not showing. DP 503 not showing.
Pardon me?
It is not showing. Can you spell it? Can you type
DP, D for Delhi, P for Pune.
DP 503?
Hmm.
It's not showing certification. Yeah, yeah. Yes. Okay. One more thing, is it related to Azure Ignite? Is it data engineering? Azure Ignite.
No, that is even when you talk about the Ignite, everything comes under the engineering, data engineering only, Azure data engineering. That's a part of data engineering only.
Oh, that is also part of it. Okay, sure.
But whereas if the new services, whenever it is introduced, what happens is for that they will launch even the separate certification also as well.
Okay.
Suppose already you are certified data engineer. You want to just, on a particular service, you want a certification. So they are launching individually also for that.
Okay.
So anyways, can you see it? This is the page. So it says, looks like you have already Azure account. So I'm using using existing
Samir,
subscription.
just one more clarification. So after finishing this course, right? So where can we see ourselves, like as a data engineer developer? Can we
As a complete data,
uh,
yes, you can see yourself as a complete data engineering developer, where you will start the process, okay, from extraction of the data, transformation of the data, and loading of the data, where you will also be aware with the reporting this thing, okay. And for having more expertise on this reporting, you require to go on to this, Power BI also. Okay. But here, actually, as a data engineer, you don't require to have, work on to this Power BI, because Power BI team is totally different. Yeah, tell me now.
Yeah. Okay. So how can we the Python, right? Python related thing. How much will it be cover as part of this, or how do we need to put any separate effort to extend that as well? I know it's always depends upon the work and these things we related. So just want to know, like, to have some idea
The
as
basic
part of this
Python
training.
coding, if you know, that is fine, guys. The basic Python coding, if you know, that is fine. You can manage it easily. Because we are implementing PySpark here, not even the Python completely.
Yeah.
Python with a Spark.
Okay.
Okay. So now guys, so here can you see, once you have given the once you have given all the information, it will reroute you back to this portal that is called as portal.azure.com. This is the portal where you are going to work on. This is the portal where you are going to work on. This is the portal where you are going to work on, guys. That's it. Now, as this is the portal where you are going to work on, can you see here? Here you have, what is that? This is the portal you're going to work on. So let's try to see what are all the storages you have it. So these are the only 6 storages we have discussed now. So I will show you the rest of the storages as well. For that, click on this more services. And now can you see these are some of the storages we have it. What is that? See, 21 database storages are there. How many? 21 database storages. Different databases are supported here. And apart from this, these are some of the basic storages you have it. Can you see here? Azure Synapse is one storage in this. Okay. Synapse Analytics is one storage. Even can you see here? Azure Databricks is one type of storage or service, you can say. Okay. So likewise, again, you have, what is that? Many, see, all are the various services. Under that, you have storages also. Many services. These are the categories of services, you can say. Okay. These are the various categories of service. Can you see here? So storage account is one type of storages again. So various, can you see various type of storage services are provided. So if you calculate it, it is coming nearly to the 90 plus storages, guys. That is the total number of storages allowed or type of storages we have it in the Azure. See, guys, when you talk about the Azure, so that means these storages you can use it in either in, what is that? Azure Databricks, Data Factory, Synapse, Machine Learning, AI, Azure Fabric, whatever the type of thing we have it, we can use it here. Okay. So these are all the storages we have it in Azure, guys, everyone. Now, so once you log into the azure.portal.com, that is azure.com, then once you provide all the information, it will reroute you back to the azure.portal.azure.com. And this is the page where we are ultimately going to work on. This is the page where we are going to work ultimately. Okay. This is the page we are going to work. This is the web page you are having. What is it? Portal.azure.com. It is called as what? Portal.azure.com. That's it. Okay. So that's it, guys. So this is the page we are going to work on this. And now from tomorrow onwards, we are going to start with the first service, guys, because the Azure data engineering includes all. So we are going to start with the first service that is called as the Azure Data Factory. So guys, tomorrow we will discuss the Azure Data Factory. So now just I will give you the brief of it. Azure Data Factory. ADF stands for what? Azure Data Factory. So Azure Data Factory, guys, Azure Data Factory, everyone, includes the following. That means, first of all, to know the Azure Data Factory, you must and should know, everyone, what is a components in Azure. Components in Azure. What are the components in Azure? You must and should know, guys. What are the components in Azure? We have it. Component means based on this only, we are going to work onto the Azure here, Azure Data Factory. So hence we can say what is that? ADF, Azure Data Factory components. We can say what is that? Azure Data Factory components. So basically, to work and use the Azure Data Factory, we require to know the following components. What are those? The first one, second one, third one, fourth, fifth, and then sixth, and then seventh. Can you see it? These are the 7 components we have it. Whereas out of the 7 components, guys, the first component, if you know the 7 components, then you know the whole ADF, guys. So for that, we will start with the first one. I will give you the list of these components. First one is called as a pipeline. And the second one is called as the data sets. Or I can say linked service, then list. Linked services. And then you have what's that? The third one is the data sets. And the fourth one is called as the, guys, activities. And the fifth one is called as, fourth one is called as activities. And the fifth one is called as, what is that? Mapping data flows. And then we have what's that? Activities mapping data flows. Yes, activities mapping data flows. Then we have what's that? Triggers. And the seventh one is integration runtime. Integration runtime. So these are the 7 components we require to know for starting up the Azure Data Factory. So guys, so we will start with the Azure Data Factory and all the components from tomorrow. That is Saturday, we will have the class tomorrow. Only for tomorrow, we'll have it the same time, 7 o'clock. And from Monday onwards, we will start at 6 o'clock. That will be the standard timings, 6 to 7. Okay. So tomorrow, you will have the class at 7 a.m. And from Monday onwards, you will have it at the 6 a.m. in the morning. That's it. Okay. So we have it. So tomorrow, we'll start with the, yes, guys, Azure Data Factory and its components, and we'll start even the practicals from tomorrow, guys, everyone. Okay, clear? Any doubt you have it, please ask me now. Hello?
It's clear, Samir.
Okay. So that's it, guys. So thank you for attending, and tomorrow.
Hello,
Please.
Sir, in this course, we will cover SQL also, only ADF, ADB.
No, ADF, ADB, and SQL means the basic commands. I will discuss it with for this. SQL commands and basic Python commands also we are going to discuss, because in the ADB require Python and as well as SQL.
Okay.
Okay. So that's it, guys.
So,
Thank you. Yeah.
Samir, so by Feb end it will be completed, right? Course.
Yes, yes, yes.
Max. Okay. It's been targeted. Okay. Okay, Samir.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. So we'll meet tomorrow morning. Thank you.